Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. In this video, I want to take a look at the boomerang effect. And we're going to ask the cards if a boomerang action or actions may be in our near future. Let me show you as carefully as I can what I'm talking about. There are, in the 17 drops, there are 8 instances where the word boomerang shows up. Now, it's such a shame that I'm not allowed to show you where I go to look at those. It'd be a shame if you stopped your video and noticed this address. I'm not allowed to put it in any kind of links in YouTube or on Facebook. So you're going to go to my compilation now, and I will share that with you. Now that compilation is shareable, and it will be available to you if you want to look at other things I'm going to be talking about by following the Facebook link that will be in the video description box for this video. 1 second while I go to the official share screen. Okay. Some of the boomerang effects that the Anon community is anticipating is the fact that there have been many indictments brought against Mr. T, which opens up the possibility of that happening to other chief executives, past chief executives. Now, there's one item that keeps coming up, and I was curious, that's what started this, was why it's still kind of coming up repeatedly in the news, granted alt news, and is there a reason why the collective consciousness is kind of still being asked to remember this? Now, if you would like to follow this link, it's going to take you to this article, this item right here, which is a really nice, about an 7-minute, 48-second examination of a document, a long-form document that was produced as evidence of, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say it more than that. Now, just 2 weeks ago, the Post-Mail revisited the subject here. And that's kind of when I started thinking, why is this still coming up? It is coming up occasionally in different venues, isn't it? And sure enough, back in September, my beloved Ultra MJ Truth did a compilation kind of addressing the topic and restating it and kind of giving some, shall we say, historical perspectives to what's going on. And I just thought that was really, really interesting. So we've got those. And then within those, you can see the long form and the examination of it and what have you. Now, again, that's not the only instance. There have been shenanigans with balloting and things like that. And the boomerang effect would mean that there'd be some accountability and some corrections being made. And I'm going to make my question specifically to the CEO of the United States Corporation. Okay? So let's ask the cards. Since boomerang is a word that keeps coming up in alt media circles, and instances of things that should have been long ago kind of laid to rest or, let lay, keep coming up, whether it's shenanigans of one type or another. I'd just like to ask the cards if the reason the collective consciousness is still being made to be aware of the term and meaning of boomerang, and if we can anticipate some boomerang events, which would include, corrections and nullifications of actions taken when in that CEO office that maybe shouldn't have been had, including all of them. Let's see what the universe wants us to know, okay? All right, I'm going to switch the camera so you can let me work with the cards. And again, our question is going to be specific to this timeline that we are on, and asking if the alt media community or regular citizens, if we can anticipate some boomerang effects in high political office taking place at any point in the next, oh, let's say 18 months. Okay, so some of those items being brought to light and maybe some corrections being made or actions being taken. Just whatever the universe wants us to know. So, and within the next 18 months, can some public corrections via the boomerang effect be seen and viewed and gotten through on this timeline? Let's find out. So let's see if within the next 18 months, there is going to be some publicly seen boomerang events happening, specifically with the CEO office of the United States Corporation. Plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know. I'm always amazed that the 17 drops are still so heavily kept from public view when it's been well over a year since any were added. And most of those were simply giving people some things to mull over. Socratic questioning, if you will. But it is what it is until some corrections are made. This was several cards, so it's not a jump out where I feel bad if I didn't show you what happened. This is small hands, large cards, occasionally. Occasionally things happen. Okay. Okay, our first card is Strength. Page of Wands. 5 of Pentacles. 2 of Swords. 4 of Wands. 6 of Swords. And 7 of Wands. Okay, we don't have a hard yes here for my question of in the next 18 months, we'll be seeing some boomerang events unfold, and other insights and information. But we are getting some nice clues here that there is forward motion and progress towards those events happening. Okay, here now I'm going to show you the elements of the cards that are leading me to say that. First of all, the situation was indicated by the Strength card, a major arcana, which meant there's a lot of firmness in the response in the situation that we're being informed about, which is kind of cool. The Page of Wands, which clarifies a little more about the Strength card. I'm sorry if I said Page of Wands showed up. The one indicating the question was the Strength card, okay, which is a really strong divine energy, and it involves trust and love. It's just a really good one. We're being told that I think there is some very high and positive energy that is going to be looking at those events and kind of making corrections to the timeline on a human level, as well as some of the cosmic stuff that's going on. The reason I said it's some human corrections will be taking place, we have the Page of Wands showing up here, which is a card of optimism. So we can be really optimistic that that situation, those 8 boomerang, and by the way, there was no delta involved with those. The closest one was the term was used in January 30th. So it didn't look like we had a delta coming up, but it has been a recurring theme in those. So I thought, let's ask. So we got caution here, cautious optimism, and also discovery. Okay, so there's going to be some things come to light. And then again, just with my feeling and belief that the universe, the source of some of my information, has indicated to me over time that this is a white hat card. And again, it's that little dry humor because there truly is a white hat on this card. So the white hats are going to be making some discoveries and making those, I think, a little more public. Okay, now in the past, as we know, when shenanigans have occurred for the greater good, there's been a deliberate non-call to take action. People were told to go home, stay safe, and that was deliberate on the part of some very loving individuals. Just knowing that how events had to unfold to have the least amount of collateral damage possible, even though the collateral damage we've all dealt with has been heartbreaking. Okay, it truly has. And the direction we've seen the policies and agendas go, again, heartbreaking. The truth is available to us. So in some form or fashion, if you follow like my links, there's some truth there. And remember, this card indicates using all your senses. So again, use your discernment for any information you get from any source, including mine, and decide if it works for you, if it seems to be true, if it's something you can confirm from more than one place before you acknowledge it or accept it. That's great. That's great. But the main thing is just not saying, oh, I heard it on this mainstream platform, it has to be true. So there is a possibility. And I sometimes think, how can people not see that there was shenanigans in this situation or this document or that document? And it's probably because they don't want to. And maybe their life contracts were to remain asleep, to be a sheeple. Maybe they were meant to keep the pace slow enough that those that wouldn't be but would wake up late would have the time they needed. I don't know. It's a really fascinating universe we live in, isn't it? Now let's look at the near future here. Okay, we are, again, optimistic, cautious optimism, okay, discoveries, and boom, some celebrations. I think some stuff is going to get resolved in the next 18 months, or at least be on the path of it. Why do I say that? This card is about loving connections and partnerships, agreements. There's just no bad way to read this card. And some people think the 4 Wands also indicate the angel number 1111, which again, nothing bad about that number at all. The strongest insight card here is one that's very reassuring. The 6 of Swords, which is always about going from a place of trouble to a calmer place. Maybe not calm, but calmer. And in the process, protecting as much innocent life as possible. So isn't that beautiful to think that there will be some actions being taken, again, with an eye to getting us to a better place, a more true and honest place, and one where innocent life is protected. I love that. The other advice card, the less stronger one, and any more I pull in this read will also be less insightful and less impactful, but that doesn't mean that they won't still have some value. We have the 7 of Wands, and this is determination card and taking the high ground. Again, kind of indicated here when we know that there have been individuals that kind of took that high ground, just because it might not have been expedient, but it caused the least amount of collateral damage. So high ground, determination, and no matter how much the cards seem to be stacked against you, standing your ground. And that high ground is very, very important. Very important in any kind of a struggle and strife. Okay, or just getting along with people. Ask yourself, what is the high ground response? What is the highest, best possible response? Now, I grabbed a couple more cards. We have the 3 of Pentacles, which is a card indicating, again, some good connections and a firm foundation for what. So as things develop and as change comes, it's going to be very well thought out. Very well thought out. And then we have the 4 of Cups informing us a little more about possible changes coming up. And again, we're being advised not to overlook something just because it's not straight in front of us, okay? This card also sometimes indicates that it's okay to take time and think things through, kind of rest. You don't have to take immediate action, but it's always about don't overlook something that still, if you just broaden your view a little bit, it's going to be quite evident to you and actually much closer at hand than these other cups seem to be. I love that card. Okay, 2 more cards. Oh, that's a good one. We got that's a beautiful one. We have the 10th Arcana with the Wheel of Fortune showing up with the 10 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles, first of all, let's look at some elements in the card. 10s indicate the kind of the finish of something. And in this case, with the Pentacles suit, it's always about celebration and just good blessings and abundance for all, because every age group is represented in this. It usually kind of indicates a family, but it can also indicate, like, the human race, or specific to citizens of a certain region or country or something like that. And the Wheel of Fortune showing up is always beautiful to see in a political read, because we are going from dark to light. And the Wheel of Fortune never stops. It doesn't run backwards either. So since we're going from dark to light, we're being told in the next 18 months we will have some lightening and brightening of situations. And I just absolutely love that. So let's recap. We looked at why the term boomerang is sometimes used in alt media chatter and even in alt media posts. And we also looked at some events coming up, or possibly coming up, that may be impacted by the boomerang effect. We looked at, and then our question specifically was, in the next 18 months, is it possible that we'll see that boomerang effect go into effect? Now, the screen shares I did included some instances of our chief executive office of the United States Corporation. And so we were asking, within that very specific group of individuals, is it possible that there could be some boomerang effects taking place for them within the next 18 months? And I shared there have been some recurring things that come up as far as in the public eye. Granted, not on the mainstream, but there's been some incidences of validation documents and things like that that people just don't let go to rest. And so there seems to be a very obvious and evident effort on the part of individuals that towards the collective consciousness, even, to keep those thoughts in our head that, yeah, boomerang, what goes around comes around. If you do it to one, it could be done to others. And here's some items that we want to revisit and look at, make corrections on. And the universe, first of all, the situation showed up with the strength card, and validated a little more with the cautious optimism and discovery card of the Page of Wands. So while those don't indicate a definite hard yes, it does look like the situation is going to involve some disclosures and some actions being taken. Ultimately, those actions in the near future will bring the United States, if not the world, into a place of betterment, calmer situations, and protecting innocent life as much as possible all along the way. That was also indicated here in a beautiful card in the recent past with the Five of Pentacles, where you deliberately forgo the easy for your convictions or because of something that just means more to you. And I immediately thought of Mr. T telling people to go home. And he's kind of, in recent speeches, dropped little clues about, he knew it was the way to keep the least amount of collateral damage happening, was to allow some events to unfold even if they shouldn't have. And I thought that was really beautiful, because there's been a lot of sacrifice there. And even though we've suffered because of those changes that were allowed to happen or seem to have happened, it was less than what would have happened if there had been any kind of call for action and people had been encouraged to do something. Okay, ultimately, Wheel of Fortune's turning here, turning always in political things from dark to light to the good, always. It never stops, and it doesn't move backwards. So the Wheel of Fortune, whenever it shows up in a political read, is really, really beautiful. Love it. And then a celebration card. So we are going to have some things to celebrate. It may not all be done in 18 months, but we're going to have some things to celebrate and be in a better spot. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and attention. And it has come to my attention, by the way, that there are some shenanigan people out there that are starting to quote love and light. And that bothers me. So at some point in the future, I may stop wishing you that, just because, like I said, it's now being bandied about by people that aren't on that path. And that really, really concerns me. But just know that when I wish you that, I'm wishing you truly from a place of universal love. Just being a conduit for the source of love and light, like I said, because our world is going from dark to light. So if you kind of know my rationale for saying that, you know, that dark to light and love and kindness and all positive things are being wished for you, that's why I say love and light and all things bright. Bye.